remember, have the extension of the number that you can reach. What is the job title? Sometimes maybe instead of accounts payable clerk, you should talk directly to the owner of the company. Remember, when you call, you should not chew gum, or there should not be any noise or distraction. Have the invoice of the customer handy in front of you. You should have the proof of delivery. You should have the purchase order. You should have the authorization of the customer and order acknowledgement. And have the detail of your last or previous telephone conversation that you had with the customer. Aware of any queries raised, or for example damage or complaint of the customer for not paying. You should be aware from the beginning, and do not bring anything during the conversation when you talk, and always smile but firm. Having confidence and full and accurate and updated debt information is essential. Collector should know his authorities during negotiation with customer. They should be aware about company's policy about deals with some special customers, because sometimes for a special customer maybe you can give, instead of 30 days, you can give 60 days terms, or you can accept them to pay 45 days, some part of 50% of that one, and 50% for 90 days. You should be aware before you call the customer. Otherwise, maybe you make your customer angry and you lose the sales in future. So make sure that you are talking with the right person only, and make sure that you only get one chance to make a first impression. Any frustration experienced in connection must not be carried forward into actual conversation.
A collection is a negotiation in every sense, usually straightforward, but sometimes more difficult. You should always have all the document in your hand before any calls, and your voice should be displaying that you are determined to collect the money, and also you should always be professional and use a respectful language. Do not be impolite or rude, because maybe you lose your customer in future. And you should be friendliness in your voice, although the customer doesn't see you, but your friendliness in your voice is very important. And try to not read from a script, to be a live person, interactive with the customer, and always time in the early of the morning, that they know that you are very serious about collecting money.
So the content of your call should be, number one, mention exact amount of debt at the beginning of the call, again during the call, and again at the end of the call when confirming amount promised. Always remember, ask open-end question. For example, don't say that have you sent a check or not. So this question is a closed question. The answer maybe is yes or and or no. So this is not good. So ask open question like, where did you say you sent the check, Mr. White? Or when you will be sending us the check, Mrs. Black? Use silence at the end of each question to add strength to the point being made. Close-ended question is like this one. Have you received the merchandise in the March? If the customer say no, then you can say, I can send you a proof of delivery from the freight company that you signed on the paper, on the waybill. Or do you agree there is an outstanding balance of 3,500? If the customer say no, then say this is the invoice, this is your order, this is your order acknowledgement, this is proof of delivery, so all the documents are available. Sometimes customer brings some excuses for not paying or late payment. For example, sometimes they say the check is in the mail, but this is not correct answer. So you should ask that, which check did you send? What is the number of check? What is the amount of check? Where did you send that check? When did you mail that check? Then you should ask them, if I don't get this check within these few days, I will call you again. But remember, listen carefully to judge the customer mood, to find the real reason for non-payment. Remember, your goal is to get the money. If the customer right now, you think that is a real problem, in a cash problem, maybe you can ask them, for example, give in 3 installments and send the check right now, if you make sure that they have cash problem. Acknowledge the problem in a way that remains neutral, but remember, your aim is getting the money of your company. Apologize if your company has have given some promise to the customer, for example, sending part or replacement. If your company hasn't done that promise, apologize for some undone promise, but always develop question to establish the facts that are correct. Remember, you should, in your conversation, you should try to be consistent in controlling the call throughout the conversation. Remain calm and polite, but firm and determined. Conclude the facts. For example, the check number 2225 for the amount of $3,525 is cut and will mail by courier tomorrow to your company in Waterloo. Collector should not show any weakness in collection money. During conversation, be positive rather than critical. Be polite. Admit mistake frankly if your company is wrong. Get the customer attention. Get a firm commitment for payment. Sometimes customers give you some excuse. For example, they say, I haven't received the invoices. So fax or mail the copy of invoices. Or they say the check is in the mail. Or they say we have cash problem. Or our payment terms are 60 days or we pay in 90 days. Our accountant has gone for vacation. We are going to liquidation. We are waiting for our customer to pay to us. We have a reorganization. The goods were damaged. The owner is not here to sign the check. There is no purchase order number on the invoices. Your sales rep agreed for 90 days payment. There is a postal strike here. Our computer is down. We can't pay. We have no money. Do whatever you want to do. These are the excuses that the customer tells to you. But remember, as a good collector, you should follow the win-win policy. The collector uses assertive skills, not aggressive. The collector will listen, question, get clarification, and speak confidentially, get clarification, and speak confidentially again. So in summary, a collector should be prepared, be persistent, be prompt, be urgent, be cautious, be tactful, be businesslike, be cooperative, be repetitive in collection the money. And always remember, even you do your job best, there is always a proportion of debts will remain unpaid. Some customers will not pay until they really have to pay. Independent, you should use independent collection agency. Maybe it is economical, some collection agency, they get 10% of the invoice to collect the money for you. And for the last resort, there are legal actions and legislations for large past due invoices. Thank you for watching my lecture. If you have any question or comments, I will be happy to hear from you. You can reach me at shahnamtaheri@gmail.com.